free will is something you need to struggle for. And the wrong idea about free will is that I have free will. Any thought that pops in my mind, any desire that I have, this is my free will. So it is sacred and it represents something sublime. And this is nonsense. This is not the case. Maybe if you work really, very hard, you would reach a point when at least some of the decisions in your life will reflect freedom. But it's not something you can just take for granted. Now, there are a lot of forces in the world which encourage us to have this simplistic idea that anything that pops in the mind is the reflection of my free will. It comes most notably in the economic sphere, from the whole consumerist and capitalist system, which it's built on the premise that the customer is always right. I mean, when you talk to the big corporations or to some business magnates and you ask them about their practices and about problematic things they do, their final line of defense is always the customer is always right. Yes, we are doing these things, but the customers are buying it. And the customers are the number one authority. This is their free will. If the customers want it, who are we or who is you to tell the customers that they are wrong? Are you some big brother that knows better than them? So this is like the final line of defense. The customer is always right. And this is based in a way on the idea of free will, that the will of the customer represents this sublime, force that manifests itself through your desires. Like, I want this brand of cornflakes. Amazing, that's human free will in action. And it's the mystery of the universe manifests itself. Like in that moment in the supermarket that I stand and I see these two brands and how to choose, I choose this brand. The mystery of the universe. It isn't the mystery of the universe. We know today a lot about what's really happening in your brain, in your mind, when you make this choice. And it's increasingly becoming easier and easier to manipulate these choices. Mm-hmm. And again, the easiest people to manipulate are those who think that when they choose this brand in the supermarket, they are exercising their free will.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's interesting you say that. Before I go into the question, I'm taking off a tangent, was how some of the biggest creators and inventors in the world have not thought customer first. So when you think of people like Steve Jobs or even Henry Ford, I think it was Henry Ford who said that if I asked people what they wanted, they would have said faster horses, right? And so he said, I didn't ask people what they wanted. And Steve Jobs would often say that too as well, that you are creating because the audience doesn't actually know what they want. But so some of the most powerful inventors have actually gone the opposite way. But in regards to that point that you're making there at the end, then what does one do? And I agree with you, you're saying that the person who becomes the most fooled or deluded is the one who believes that they have the most choice and free will.
Yes.
So what do we do? What does an individual do in that scenario, in this crazy information-filled world where I was saying that the other day that, before we were targeted by billboards, which was only if you drove, and then it was the television, which again, you had to own one and you only spent a few hours a day. And then it was the internet, which you still needed a computer and a dial-up connection. And now it's all the time, right?
Yeah.
So what does one do when they're being bombarded with all of that information?
Take time off is the best advice I can give, that the first, take time off. Right. It's extremely important during the day, during the month, during the year. I don't believe I don't think we can or should completely disconnect. We are now having this conversation where we hope that millions of people will see it. I have nothing against, social media, on the internet. They have done wonderful things for humankind. I don't know, I met my husband online in a dating site.
That's awesome.
So some of my best friends are applications. So I have nothing inherently against them, but not all the time. Yeah. The first thing is just take time off. Then you ask yourself, what do I do in this time off? So I would say different things probably work best for different people. Like I meditate, I do Vipassana meditation. Other people, they do different kinds of meditations. Some people find that art is a much more effective way for them to explore their inner reality. For some people, it could be sports or going hiking in nature, many things. But I would say two things in general about all these things. Whatever works for you, do it quickly, because you don't have much time. I mean, there is this race going on. As we now talk, there are these corporations and governments that are busy trying to hack you. And you need to stay a few steps ahead of them. So that's one thing which was never the case before, or was less the case before. And the other thing is, it won't be so much fun. I mean, some people have this idea that a journey of inner exploration is a fun journey. Oh, I'll discover all these amazing things about myself and what a good person I am. And I will have these wonderful experiences of bliss and peacefulness and oneness with the universe. And sometimes it happens. I don't say it never happens, but a lot of that is painful experiences. It's boring experiences, like you have to go through a desert of boredom. I mean, one of the, I think, biggest obstacles for people today in the world of the 21st century, I don't know how it was 2,000 years ago, but today I would say that the inability to deal with boredom is one of our greatest weaknesses.
I don't think anyone's ever called work relaxing. We usually look forward to weekends and holidays as the time to heal and relax, but Fully wants to change that. Fully transforms the way we feel at work with desks, chairs, and other tools to keep our minds and bodies moving and engaged throughout the day. Fully wants to help you bring your full active self to your workplace, which I love. From an amazing standing mat that was inspired by walking barefoot in a forest, to monitor arms that raise your computer screen to a position that puts you in an upright, healthy alignment. Fully has everything that you need to create an active office. My favorite is the Fully standing desk because it's adjustable so you can switch positions whenever your body is telling you to. And whether you're a fidgeter, a traditionalist, or someone who loves to work while standing, they have active sitting chairs for any style. Fully will be your partner in reimagining what your work can feel like. To transform your workspace, go to fully.com/J. That's fully.com/J. Fully spelled Fully. With desks, chairs, and other tools to get us moving. Fully transforms how we feel at work. Four Sigmatic is a natural superfood company that specializes in mushroom-based drinks that benefit our immunity, our energy, longevity, and help us live healthier, more enhanced lives. Four Sigmatic makes a wide variety of blends, including mushroom coffee, mushroom elixirs, hot cacaos, matcha, and superfood blends. Four Sigmatic works with my always-on go lifestyle because it's so quick and easy. Just tear the packet and mix it with hot water. This also makes it great for travel, which is so helpful for me. One of my favorites is the coffee with lion's mane. Lion's mane mushrooms have been used by the Buddhist monks to help with focus during meditation. The coffee with lion's mane promotes productivity, focus, creativity. It's coffee without the jitters. I was initially worried about the taste, but it tastes just like coffee, not like mushrooms, and it's made with 100% organic Arabica coffee beans. I like to add a little coconut milk to mine for a creamier texture. I have a special offer just for my audience right now. You can receive 15% off your Four Sigmatic purchase. Just go to foursigmatic.com/purpose or use the discount code PURPOSE at checkout. That's Four Sigmatic, FOURSIGAMATIC.com/purpose.
In almost any meaningful journey, you have to go through boredom. Whether it's you're traveling to another country and you have to spend some time in the airport, or whether it's you're having a conversation with somebody